Do you stretch or stretch as often as you would like? Well, if not, this is the right place. So I'm going to show you some stretches. Most of them are going to be basic stretches, maybe a few intermediate level ones. But basically this is going to cover the majority of the body parts, getting you loose for a workout, or just if you wake up tight in the morning and you want to stretch and kind of loosen up, get your day started, or even post-exercise soreness, a little bit of stretching. Depending on how sore you are, you don't want to overdo. But yeah, let's get started. So on this first stretch, we're going to start with our feet wider than shoulder width apart. This is actually quite a bit wider than my shoulder width, but I'm going to stretch gently, because if you want to do this stretch and make it a little bit more intense, I recommend sitting on the floor and doing it, but we're going to do this one standing. So what I want to do on this one is lean to one side, stretching out the inner thigh. And once again, I'm not trying to set a world record here, because otherwise it would put potentially too much pressure on that knee. So I'm just going to go down a little bit till I feel the stretch, push a little bit more. So you don't want to feel too much discomfort, but I don't feel anything like this. So that's when it comes to stretching. You want to feel at least mild. If it's too intense, you might pop something. That could be dangerous, obviously. If you don't feel anything, then you're not stretching. So you want to feel probably that mild to medium stretch and hold anywhere from 20 to 30 seconds. Now in this video, I'm not going to hold each stretch for that long, because it'll be a much longer video. I'm just trying to show you, especially if you're new to stretching or you don't know a whole lot of stretches, this is more of a beginner educational type. But once again, anywhere from 15 to 30 seconds per side, holding that. Keep breathing, keep breathing. Don't want to hold your breath. Okay, so that's for the inner thighs there. So what I also want to do is, if I want to stretch out my obliques or my core, I could rest my hand on this side and then reach over the top. I'm still feeling in this leg now because I'm bending this way on the inner thigh, but now I feel it in my obliques on this side. And once again, just try to hold that position. Keep breathing as naturally as you can. Once again, after you do that time, you do the same thing on the other side. Now I recommend 2 or 3 sets per side. And you don't have to do a full body stretch every time you stretch. Just use your judgment, or if your doctor has given you any advice, or physical therapist or anything like that, then you could practice those. Okay, another one, standing now for the back, is hands on the hips and then lean back as far as you feel comfortable. Okay, that's stretching out the core. It's also stretching out my lower back, kind of like what's it called, a cobra pose. If I was laying on my stomach and going up, pushing with my hands. Now, of course, if dizziness is a major issue for you, you don't want to particularly do this one. But once you again try to hold that, I could feel it also in the top part of my thighs and hip flexors on here. Another one, if you need a chair, you could use a chair, but the quad stretch. This is a standing one, of course, and once again, depending on your balance, mine's pretty good today. It varies, but you don't want to have your leg too far out, because that's not really stretching. You want to try to bring the knee in close to the other leg, and that way you feel it on that quad muscle there. And once again, anywhere from 15 to 30 seconds, and then do the same thing on the other side. And you just try to hold that position. Like this leg feels tighter, so even though I said bring the knee in, right now I already feel it. If I bring it in more, it's super tight. So once again, you see me leaning over to compensate a little bit, because it got to that mild and a little bit past that. So I'm glad that happened, so you could see the difference between each side, and it might vary with your legs or your arms. So if one side can't go as far, don't force the issue. That could create some major problems, and you don't want to injure yourself. On this one, I am obviously on the floor, and I think this one's called butterfly one. So my heels and the bottoms of my feet are touching each other. Now you could hold on to your ankles for a little bit of leverage. Try to pull your heels closer to your groin or inner thigh, and I'm going to use my elbows to assist pushing my knees down some. Now for some of you that are very flexible, you'll be able to push your legs all the way to the floor. I'm pushing pretty good. I'm nowhere close to that. I'm 52. Some people that are 52 are a lot more flexible than I am, some that aren't even close to as flexible as I am. So it's not a competition. You just want to try to improve, and be better than you were the day before or the day before that. So once again, adjust by pushing the knees down. There's other variations of this too. Like let's say this is my left leg and I want to do more of my hamstring. Well, I could also hit this hip at the same time, bring in that foot closer to this leg. Now reach in for my toes of my straight leg here. So now I feel it in my hamstring here. I also feel it in the outer part of my hip of my right leg, the leg that's bent. Once again, even though I'm a little more constricted compared to standing, still take nice breaths. Keep the oxygen going in. Don't forget to breathe out. So same thing other side, leg out. And it can be straight ahead. It doesn't really matter that much on this one, but in this particular place, my left knee is feeling too good. So I bring my leg a little bit out. I could still in. Now I'm still feeling the stretch here, not hurting this knee, and I'm still feeling it in this hamstring. And as I pull my toes close to me, now I'm feeling it in my calf. So if you can't reach that far, you could use a small towel, hold on to, grab your ankle. If I'm wearing shorts, but if I had pants, or sweatpants, I could grab that, just create a little bit of leverage and do for that. Okay. The next one is good for the back. So I'm gonna lay down here, one leg up in the air, keeping the bottom leg straight, coming across my body. The key on this one is to try to keep both shoulders on the floor if you can. And now you're gonna feel it in the lumbar and the low thoracic, lower part of the thoracic back or mid back. I come up, go to the other side. Now this one doesn't stretch out my back as much, but it is stretching out the inner part of the thigh again. A little bit of the abdominal muscles are getting stretched. So once again, leg up, going across the body. Try to resist the temptation of having that shoulder come up. Now if I need to use a little bit more leverage to hold my leg down, I could do that. Once again, it's stretching the core. That includes the abs and the lower back. Okay? Another one from this position, leg, one knee, and give yourself a hug. You could do this one leg at a time or both, and if you need to, you could even rock some. That, depending on how much back muscle you have, this is also kind of a good self-back massage for those back muscles. Nice big squeeze. Even though I did the previous one with the leg and across, you can also do it with the leg bent if that makes it a little bit easier. I'm still stretching the same part of my lower back and core, or my abs, and that'll work like that. Okay, that's a good one. All right, so far I've showed you mostly legs and some core, including some ab stretches, lower back stretches. Here's a couple for the upper body and the limbs. So one for the forearms and biceps, one hand palm up, other hand I'm going to include my thumb, trying to keep this arm straight and then pull down. And you'll feel the stretch, and particularly the forearm and a little bit of the bicep. Okay. Now, if your arms are very flexible, you might not feel this as much, but pull a little bit harder, and you'll, particularly the forearm muscles, you'll be able to feel it. So same thing on the other side. Once again, including the thumb, and pull. So on this arm, I feel it more in my right bicep, but I also feel it in the forearm muscles as well. Okay. Now for the shoulders, particularly the rear delt, arm straight ahead, use your other hand like you're going to give yourself a hug, come across that body. Okay. Now, of course, if you have bad shoulders or rotator cuff issues, you have to move within reason and what's comfortable for you. And of course, if your doctor or orthopedist told you, don't do the stretch or whatever stretch don't do, then of course don't do it. Same thing on the other side. Just like that. Okay. Another one for the upper part or the top part of your forearm is hands down and pull like this. And this stretches the wrist and a little bit of the forearm muscles there. So that's opposed to the palm up, palm down, kind of like limp wristed, but you're going to keep your arm straight, pulling like so. Okay. Now, if you want your chest stretched, you would simply go to a wall. Hands flat, arms extended, and I'm going to slowly turn my upper body away from that arm, and now I feel it in the anterior, the front part of the shoulder, and my pec or chest muscle. And once again, I just go as far as I feel comfortable and a little bit more so it's uncomfortable but not painful. So it's, a mild to moderate stretch as opposed to not feeling anything or, obviously not painful. Now, with that being said, in the same very similar position, if I rotate so this part of my knuckle is against the wall and then turn, now most of the stretch transfers from my chest to the bicep muscle. So it's a very good stretch that way. Once again, to do the same thing on the other side, you could use the same wall. Of course, I would recommend having clean hands before you put fingerprints all over the wall. Certainly if you have kids, don't let them eat peanut butter and jelly and then do the stretch. That's not good. So hopefully this video was helpful. Just a handful of exercise to keep you busy, loosen up the body. Feel free to let me know in the comment box below if you have any questions or any video ideas that you would like to see. And certainly if it was helpful, don't forget to like and subscribe and share with any people that you might find interested in this type of exercise and other exercise videos that I have. All right, thanks. I'll see you next time.